Here's new info on Chapter 10 of Monsters We Make. We cut back to New Eden Academy in the present day, and we're brought back into the office of the same goofy hoe that threatens Jabari in the very first volume. And she ends up smart-mouthing this guy who's apparently in charge of her, and he forces her to apologize. This guy then tells her that he's waiting on a report about Jabari, which means that they have their eyes on him specifically. She asks if he would be better suited for something called the Six, and the guy says perhaps, but I want him on Alpha for now. And they refer to Jabari as the comedian, and I find all of this interesting. I don't understand what their plans are with him yet, but I'm sure we'll find out before the end of this volume. Immediately we cut right back to Jabari, and it appears he's in the middle of combat trying to use his new suit ability. While him and his crew are going up against a giant leaker who are the monsters of the Monster We Make universe, if you're not familiar. Jabari's teammates seem to give him new messages on how to combat by telling him to remember to use his call signs to work with the suit and not against it. We then see Jabari's teammate cut off one of the arms of the leaker as the leaker screams in pain, and Jabari can't even believe what he's seeing because of how badass this guy is. He's known as the Prince of New Eden, or the Knight or some shit like that. Then Jabari's love interest comes out of nowhere with her plant controlling ability and sends several ropes and vines towards this leaker, while Jabari's other teammate kicks this thing in the eyes and blinds it so Jabari can finish him. They all tie the monster down while Jabari is literally in awe of how flawless their coordination is and the fact that they're not even hesitating. And then Jabari starts to lose control again just as a leaker appears from behind him and he can't even defend himself. We learn that this was just a simulation as the leader of Jabari's group stops it and then sighs in response to the fact that Jabari's lacking right now. Meanwhile, his teammates comfort him and say, "It's okay, JB, it takes a while to get used to the SIC, which is the synthetic immersion chamber they were just training in." And Jabari asks if they're really cool with unaliving people since the leakers used to be humans. And they ask, "What are you gonna do when the leaker starts death bombing your face? Sing a song?" And then they explain that this is pretty much like being a hero out of a manga, except this is real life and they can't just put the book down when something bad happens. While Jabari's girlfriend comforts him and says, "Remember, you're saving lives." And this is probably the most anime appearing panel we've gotten out of the series so far, where we get to see this interaction between the teammates, and I genuinely love it because people like to argue that Monsters We Make isn't a manga even though it very clearly is. Then we see the group traveling to a new location known as Floor 6, and Jabari asks, "What's this about? Where are we going?" We're told they're going to a meeting, and just as they arrive to the floor, we're introduced to some new characters we've never seen before. Like, I don't even know these guys' names, but one of them definitely looks like a My Hero villain. Like, this guy straight up looks like Shigaraki, or even the brother of All For One. You can't tell me he doesn't. Then we see Jabari standing in front of that same hoe that threatened him in the first volume that runs this whole BS ass academy, and then she tells him to take a seat, pup. That's the end of chapter 10, but leave a like, follow this account, and leave a comment on this video telling me what you thought if you're hyped for the next chapter.